All right, welcome to section two of IMA, and I'm super excited to have you guys this far. Things are really about to start turning up, and we're going to be getting into the real nitty gritty. Now, with this section, we're going to be focusing intensively on social media and building our social media presence. So, with that being said, we are in a massive time of change, and social media is really what has become the new television. And pretty much, television is becoming what was our radio. And the craziest part about it is that social media is where all of the eyes are right now, and people are still focusing on traditional marketing techniques that are just not working. And as we know, with Facebook ads, Instagram ads, this is all booming, and we are using influencers now to explode our brands to new heights and grow exponentially quicker than ever. And now we are going to be able to build extreme perceived value with our social media pages. And now, with all this flooded attention, we are capable of doing this by building a social media page based on super aesthetic pictures, regardless of what we're doing. There is no person to person feel with social media marketing and influencer marketing because all of this is just done virtually and what we can see based on first impressions. These whole psychological process and the whole purchasing process has changed so much in recent times that we are now adapting to it, and that's why influencer marketing has become so freaking valuable in our time now. And what does this result in? Social media outlets are making companies boom, like us. And this is a huge opportunity for us. And that's why these are the latest forms of billboards and ads and general publication. So we could build our perceived value for our brand, regardless of what are selling. Anyone has the proper platform and stage for them to start selling their brand and putting themselves out there. It is the best time to be an entrepreneur and build our own businesses. And that's why it is so great that we have absolutely no barriers to entry, regardless of our niche and regardless of what we're trying to sell. We could absolutely do it via e-commerce and also building a brand on social media with these no barriers to entry. So, with that being said, as we build each platform for our social media, for our brand, and we're building the foundation to build this perceived value and day trade really this attention for our brands as a whole. Each platform is going to have its role and its strengths. So, with that being said, Facebook, for example, is going to be great and it's going to be huge for blogs and news and really just sending out our ads and doing our long form content, getting people to share stuff that's going to be interesting to their entire friends list, and just another way to increase our our footprint inside of our brand niche. So, with that being said, Twitter is going to be a much different platform and send a different message than Facebook. It's going to be more so day-to-day operations, public consensus gathering. A lot of companies, like I've seen airlines, have used it for pretty much gaining feedback. So whenever people were distressed or unhappy, they would usually just go to Twitter and tweet at a brand or a company, and they would right away get a quick response from a brand that is proactive and always on their toes and responding to a happy customer or an unhappy customer. And it is a great way to really connect with your audience. And another one, Snapchat, is really more intimate, personal, inside of a company, regardless of you being a CEO or marketing person. Now, what you could use Snapchat for is really showing people what's going on inside of your brand. Now, the difficult thing about Snapchat is getting people over from, for example, your Instagram or Facebook or Twitter page to get them over into following you on Snapchat. So, what you're going to do is provide incentives, and you could do stuff like giveaways. That is going to incentivize people to go onto your Snapchat and interact with your brand. And what this is all doing overall in the background of people's minds, which they don't really know it, is that they're really just connecting with your brand and building trust. And once you do build this huge trust factor, it's going to be so easy for you to sell to people that are seeing your post every single day on different platforms, whether it be Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or Facebook. And Instagram is going to be pretty much for daily content, where we're going to be reaching out to influencers, sales, calls to actions, and updates about your brand. For the most part, Instagram is going to be pretty much your, I guess you could say, web storefront when people don't really have physical shops anymore. So this is what's going to represent your brand and give people that absolute feel of what is going on inside of your company and what your company and brand has to offer as a whole. So that's why our Instagram is so heavily stressed. And that's why I must say that this is, in fact, the face of your company. You are no longer the face of your company. It is your Instagram. And really, that is what's being presented to everyone when you are using your influencer ads. The first thing that they're going to click through once they are using your influencer's featured post is your Instagram page. And that's the first thing and first impression they're going to see of your brand, no matter what you're selling, what you're doing. And then they could therefore click into the link in your biography and then go to your Shopify store and look at what you have to offer. So with that being said, this is all super important, and make sure that you do utilize all of these platforms to increase the footprint of your brand inside of your niche. So you are more aware and you're making more impressions upon people from day to day, and you're constantly building your brand through social media, because that is what became the main avenue of gaining traffic with e-commerce. And now it is our time to take advantage of this, because not only has it changed to these platforms to bring us all this revenue, but it is really easier than ever once you get it down. It is a super simple science that we could rinse and repeat regardless of niche, regardless of what we are trying to sell. We could test it, see if it works, and if it does, scale it up, and we could keep representing our brands through these platforms, which is super, super important. So we have to make sure that everything is looking good on these platforms. We are aligned with other brands, looking sharp, that we are not below par, and looking that we are a reputable brand, and be able to build this perceived value so that we could drive these constant sales to our e-com store. So with that being said, just know that each platform has its role and its strengths. So what you're going to do is pretty much post the right thing for the right platform, and you're going to see how it's really going to naturally fall into place and what other people in the business are doing. And never ever be afraid to reverse engineer what is working right now in the business, whether it's inside of your niche or something closely related to it. So with that being said, make sure you utilize every single social media platform so you can grow your brand as much as possible.